So hello, and I'm Ken from Transformations Counseling. You may have seen some of our videos, and this is the Ask the Therapist section of that. We're hoping to expand this forum and allow people to ultimately send in questions, and we'll respond to them and answer them via video, and then post them where you can see them. I'd like to introduce Jordan Natch. He's our resident master of mindfulness. He runs our mindful classes. Actually, we run them together. And so I'd like to introduce, say hello, Jordan.
Hey.
Hello, Jordan.
How are you, Ken?
Good, I am well.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So Jordan is
Pleasure.
part of our team, and right? Here at
Definitely.
Transformation. And,
Yeah. Was added to the team this year. We did our first series of mindfulness classes. They were a hit. We're excited to get our next round going in September.
Yep, September 15th. So seats are limited, so get your spot quick. Hopefully, ultimately, too, with this new forum, as part of this, what we're doing is like a series of test videos. To allow this to go, you'll be able to take the mindfulness classes from the comfort of your own home, and through Facebook Live or YouTube Live, whichever form we use, but probably Facebook, be able to interact even from your house.
Yeah, I think that would be ideal. You know, people we're so busy nowadays,
Right.
that to be able to do it from your home or even your office or wherever you might be, to take that hour and a half of time just to set aside for it. Oh, it's so necessary.
Right.
It's so healthy.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I mean, oftentimes that's when I'm talking with people, dealing with people, and life is a busy place. I work with a lot of couples, and so oftentimes when they ask, how do we get here? The answer oftentimes is life. We just get so wrapped up in it and forget to be mindful, forget to be in the moment with the people that we love, and it can have effect on all relationships. Plus, right, your health. There's plenty of research about the health benefits of mindfulness. Helps reduce stress, anxiety, stops the racing and running thoughts that drive us crazy.
Absolutely.
I mean, last week I wasn't being very mindful and locked my keys in my truck. And that was the first thing that popped in my head.
I don't mean to laugh so hard at that.
Well, it is in some ways funny. It's funny when you're trying to practice what you preach and then you lock your keys in your truck, and I should have been mindful.
Oh, that's because you tried. There is
yes.
no try.
That's right. Thank you, Yoda. Right.
But yes, it's something that I even said to you this week, that I've had to practice myself, juggling quite a few opportunities right now that I couldn't pass up. And it does, you really have to force yourself in this busy, distracted day and age to come back to the moment and be where you are,
Right.
in the now.
Yeah.
And something we talk a lot about in class are all the the infinite opportunities in the now,
Right.
here, right now, the people right next to you.
Right.
We can be so connected to whatever is going on, in our immediate vicinity, within us, outside of us, to us, through us, from us. But rather than be so connected, most of us are so disconnected.
Yep.
So.
But mindfulness too is a good. I was thinking about it on the ride in, and oftentimes, and you hear it all the time, people in traffic, they go crazy, they're stressed out. And you could sit there and you could bang on your horn and beep and flip people the bird and yell and scream,
Yeah.
but you're not going anywhere, no matter how mad or upset you get at the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So to use that moment just to appreciate where you're at. Find something to be grateful for, right? Just be glad that I'm able to sit in traffic is
Right.
a
It's
great
so
mantra,
true.
right?
Yeah, the car really is a beautiful place to practice applying the techniques and applying the theories that we discuss, in the classes,
Yeah.
and that we apply in the classes. And absolutely. When it comes to mindfulness, jumping off of the base of mindfulness, I did have a question I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
And I figured it would be a great place and a great forum to ask here.
Okay.
And that question is, if there was one thing one thing that you would, I guess, recommend or advise or guide others to either add or remove or instill in their day on a daily basis, just, what technique, what item, what little thing can people do to really begin to, I guess, recenter on the daily? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I was talking not actually yesterday with the client and actually with my significant other.
Uh-huh.
Oftentimes, I think you have to remember to remember. Right? So mindfulness is a great practice when you remember to do it, but oftentimes you'll get swept up in life or in your day and you'll forget to remember. For me, what I actually do and I recommend is a rubber band. Great thing about rubber bands is you can write on them. So you could write on your rubber band, be present, breathe, slow down, take a breath, whatever thing that you want to remember, and then when you course of your day, you pick up your pen. Oh, there's my rubber band, and then you can take a second to remember. And and rubber band too is not something you normally wear on your wrist, right? We kind of tune out what's normal, right? So if I put it on my watch, I may not remember. I'll see my watch, but it won't trigger me to remember. So something unique or different. You could get. For women, if they wear different bracelets, they can have a peace bracelet and a mindful bracelet and this and whatever they're...
Right, just breathe, I think, would be perfect, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, something that I like at the end of the day is to, hopefully, you'll be reminded at the end of the day, just to go back and review your day and lovingly, right, love yourself and say, okay, did I achieve this, to breathe goal that I set for myself today?
Right.
And if you did, great. Give yourself a pat on the back. And if you didn't, don't beat yourself up because we're great at judgment. And just forgive yourself and say, okay, I'll try harder tomorrow. But just to kind of review and just, again, be mindful of whether you were mindful.
Right.
And just gently and lovingly just move towards your goal.
And that's... Yeah, absolutely. I think, that's one of the main reasons we decided to come together to instill the classes. Obviously we know, how beneficial the techniques can be. We both apply them on daily and walk our talk, consistently. We have to, especially in this day and age. But it's to remember. And your awareness, the, self-awareness is a muscle that most of us do not exercise anymore. And that's one of the huge, main focuses in class, or foci in class, whatever word you'd like to use. Really exercising that muscle of awareness so that on the daily you can flex it more readily. If you're someone that never goes to the gym and never works out, and you're probably not going to be so aware of your biceps. But if you're a meathead, you're walking around thinking like, this is, this is my room, this is where I do therapy, bathroom's that way. You're thinking about it.
Right.
You remember to remember your biceps, or at least that muscle. Right. So, exercising the muscle of awareness, it is imperative nowadays. And again, going back to what we first brought up, or at least what I first brought up, that we're so distracted so often. Right. We're so inundated with sensory external stimuli that internal, where am I, who am I being, how am I feeling, what am I doing, awareness just isn't there anymore. Right. And I think that's one of the main reasons people are so anxious or so unhappy or so angry or so reactive nowadays.
Is we're using a lot lately the idea, I think we might have even discussed it, but that your mind or your brain has the capacity to go anywhere. It can go past, it can go future, it can go here.
Absolutely.
And so it could run amok. Your body, though, can only be here. So even when, like if I'm working with a couple, it's, okay, so you remember something from the past, but what are you feeling right now? And learning to get in touch with my inner world now, which again is mindfulness, right? Looking inwards.
Right.
You know, the point you brought up too about it was focus, right? What we gets attention is what we focus on, and what we focus on, we work on, right? And despite the misconception or the illusion of multitasking, the brain can only focus on one thing at one time. That's why the breath, to me, is a great focus tool, a mindfulness tool, because one, it's always available to you.
And it's not really something you can judge.
Yeah.
It's not something you can not accept. It's just there.
Right. Well, actually,
and it's no, go for it.
People do, right?
Yeah, no.
Am I breathing right? Am I doing this right?
Yeah, that's true.
We've seen it, right? And it's not about that,
That's true.
But focus is very important,
right?
And if you're focused,
that was a good point. I like that.
Yeah. I tell people all the time. I ask people, okay, what I would like for you to do if I asked you to go home and clean your house, could you do that? Everyone, of course, says yes.
Right.
So, but what I want you to do is I want you to go home and clean every room at the same time. Can you do that? And it was, well, no, you're crazy. You can't do that. I said, well, that's what you're doing in your mind. You're focused on so many things, everything's getting half done. Right? I know for me, and where I learned this from was I would go home and start cleaning the kitchen, and this belongs in the bathroom. And I walk in the bathroom, start cleaning the bathroom. This goes in the bedroom, and I go to the bedroom, and by the end of the day, every room is half clean. And nothing's totally done. And so what I do now is, okay, if this belongs in the bathroom, I have a little box, and I'll put it in the box, and then I'll clean the kitchen. Everything goes in the box, and then the box goes to the room.
Absolutely.
To stay focused on the task, and it's less stressful. I mean, how much more energy does it take to run around your old house, your whole house?
Right.
But the same thing with your mind. If you're trying to clean every room at the same time, and you're not focused, right? And we have the choice to whether we go through life or we live life, right? Oftentimes when we're wrapped up, not mindful, we're just going through life. Then life happens to us, and then we're scratching our head, hey, why'd this happen? Instead of being mindful and aware and focused, and living our life, and then having control over a lot more stuff, which maybe for another time we can discuss the illusion of control, but
absolutely,
at least it gives the brain a sense of control.
Right. And you do. I mean, there are, we see disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, or just people that are constantly trying to control everyone or everything around them. Right. And there is, there's usually a pervasive presence of, this lack of internal control there.
Right.
And it, outside of themselves, to create the facade of it is very soothing.
Right, and that
helps. And,
I use that, as within is without. And so if your mind is not focused and chaotic, so is your world. So is your house. Your desk is, your room is, everything's all over the place because it's an external manifestation of your internal world. I think when I was discussing someone, right, because the name of the mindfulness group is Transformations to Peace, and we updated the flyer this time and made it much more simple, and I was discussing with someone about it, and I said, here's the flyer, and it says Transformation to Peace, learn to be the calm in the storm, and I said, what do you think of this? And they said, well, it says peace. That's what I want.
Right.
That's what everyone's looking for. But if you're always, how peaceful can you be if you're always running around?
Yeah. Right. Or I find peace and then somebody texts me.
Yeah.
Or then I get a Facebook message. And then my Gmail pops up.
Right.
And then my work email pops up.
Right.
And then you call me. And I mean, it's,
right.
I think, obviously the cell phones and communication and technology, it's all neutral.
Yes.
It's how we utilize it. It's how dependent we become on it. And that's where the self-awareness part comes in.
Right.
Being aware and mindful of your relationship with those objects.
Right.
So it really is, we're talking about the class, we're talking in general, just to give everyone this glimpse into simple little things you can do,
right.
On the daily, and how to be on the daily, and coming back to the breath. It really is much more powerful. I'm reading actually a book now called The Compound Effect, and it talks about how little things on the daily do add up over time.
Right.
And
But that's the part of our culture, the
instant
gratification culture.
Yeah.
If I feel bad, I'll take a pill, or I'll distract. I'll go watch a movie. I'll do. We're very more reluctant to do the work needed to get to where we need to get, and because it takes time. It's a process, you know.
Exactly.
You know, it takes 66 days to make a habit. You know, so if you're not consistently doing something for 66 days, it's not going to become a habit.
Right.
But 66 days, I mean, that's a lot of time. It's over 2 months, right?
Absolutely.
So,
and that's when we start talking about tracking and
Yes.
keeping a journal,
Right.
you know, so you can create the tangible effects. You can see the tangible results of the work you're doing, rather than having to wait for 2 months to see any kind of growth in any way, shape, or form. You're seeing it on the daily because you're doing this. This is what I did. This is my journal. The classes help you stay accountable. Having a teacher helps you stay accountable.
Yeah, helps with too that judgment piece. Right? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong?
Right.
You know,
Being able to explore it and go over it with someone. Sure.
And sharing and being in a group is always a bonding experience. And humans, as social creatures, love to be connected. It's not an option for us. It's a must.
Right.
So the group experience helps. You know. That's why even with even if you're at home, the ability to interact via technology, right? I'm loving this technology. This one here, probably too much. So, talk to my fiance. But anything and everything, is good. I often think about it. We have washing machines now. We don't have to go to the river anymore to wash our clothes, and it made life.
Well, maybe you. I tend to go to the river.
Right. But it made life easier, but also complicated life. Right. We have so much extra time now. Right. When you were farming, you weren't worried about being bored because there was no time. You didn't have time.
You
to
had to survive.
Yeah. So,
right.
So it's got its pluses and its minuses. It's like anything else if used, in moderation, right?
Yeah.
Maybe one of these recordings we could talk about balance, the need for balance in life, middle way type.
Absolutely. Yeah, between control and balance, perhaps even some guided meditations or mindfulness exercises on here. We certainly have our options. Certainly have our options.
But I think that'll
I think
do it for
wrap today. Absolutely.
Wrap today. It's a bunch of minutes. So thanks everyone for watching this little video, and check back frequently because we'll be doing more and more of these. And have a great day.
Great. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Always a pleasure.
If we can figure out how to stop it.
Oh, you have to slide it?
I don't know what yet.
Hoping we can edit all this out while we talk like idiots to the camera.
Yes. It doesn't want to stop. There we go.